Hello everyone, welcome back to the video series of the Object Oriented Programming with Java. Our today's topic for this particular video, that is the thread method with the example. So I will explain you the different method available in the thread class that with the example. I am an instructor Mr. Ankit Patel. So let's see what are the different method available in the thread class. So I am not displaying all these method available in the thread, but most probably what we are using the normally method that I will discuss in this particular video. So the first method that we will discuss, that is the getName method, then the setName method, next that is a sleep method, next that is a join method, and last one that is a isAlive method. So I will explain all these 5 methods with the programming. So without wasting so much time, let's start the programming. Now in this session I will show you the example of the different thread method. So firstly I will show you the example of the getName thread method. So let's create the one class, that is a class thread demo, and I am using the thread class, not using the runnable interface. So as I told you in my last video that both the concept are similar. There is no difference in the output, but where we can use a runnable interface and where we can use a class, that I have already explained in my last video. So in this particular video I am using the thread class. So I am extend the thread class. Now I am creating a main class, that is a demo. So I am save this particular file demo.java. So now in this main class, let's create the one main function. Now here what we are doing, we are creating this object t1 is equals to new thread demo, right, and we are starting that particular t1 dot start. That I have already explained in my last video. Here what we are doing, we need to create a one run method. So we need to create a public void run. Why we are writing a public in this particular method? Because the method run method, that is by default it is inbuilt publicly defined. So whenever you are override that particular method, you are not changing its access specifier. So that I am writing here public. So public void run, then I am using a one for loop, integer I is equals to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus, and for printing the message system.out.println, I am printing the just value I. Now, so can we print this particular code? I am not writing over here, I am just deleting this line and I am creating a one method, that is the show method is there, and I am calling that method. Why we are creating this method, I will tell you. So in a show method I am just calling that particular thread, I am just creating the here. Now how to use the getName method? So for that I am using just inbuilt thread t is equals to thread dot current thread. So this will get the data. What we are writing here, thread dot current thread, that I have already thread dot current thread. So whatever the thread, here I am using only single thread, but if you are creating a multiple thread, so we don't know which thread is calling at first, then second, then third. So here whichever thread is calling, we are just getting that particular thread in a t. Then I am creating a one string variable string name, that is equals to t dot get name. So here I am using this get name method. So whatever the thread is calling in this particular method, we are getting that particular thread and t dot get name, and we are printing the simple message system dot out dot println thread name, that is equals to, I am printing the value of the name and I am closing this line. So why we are creating this particular, you can also write this all these three line in the for loop also, but this for loop, if you are writing in that particular for loop, this will might be created some overhead. That's why I have write it in one main one function, one method, then I have called this particular method in this for loop. So now you are running that particular file, the message will be, this method will be called 3 times. So obviously this will print a thread name 3 times. So let's run this 4. Let's see what is the default name of the thread. So here the default thread name is thread 0. If you are creating a second object, the thread 1 is there. If you are creating a third object, the thread 2 is there. Now you want to check it down, so you need to just create the 2 object here. Thread T1 and T2 is there, and I am just writing this line 2 times, T1 dot start and T2 dot start. You can see here. So let's run it again. Thread 0 0 0 is there and thread 1 1 1 is there. So second thread you are creating with the thread 1. Okay, so I am removing that particular line. I am using just single line because this is an example for the get name and set name method. Now if you want to set that name of the particular thread, so now you mean just write down here T1 dot set name. I am just write it one name here, user thread. So here the name of the T1 is set to the username. Now the default name is thread dash 0, but now here I have set the name, that is a user thread. Now if you are run that particular code, so this will print the name of the thread, that is the user thread that I have set. So that is the use of this set name and get name method. Using get name you can get the name, and using set name you can set the name to the specific thread. So now hope you understand both this method that I have already explained. Now suppose if you want to use a concept that is called as an sleep. So let's do it. But before I am starting the sleep method, let's explain about the join and isAlive method. So because the code is same as a get name and set name, so don't need to write down the code again and again. So let's just add some code for the line that is called as an isAlive and is. So here I am already set this name. Now what we need to find out, just we need to check it down, the thread is alive or not. So just write down here T1 dot is alive, right? So first of all you can directly print it like this, system dot out dot println T1 is alive, right? T1 is alive. So I am printing this value, I am calling this here T1 dot is alive. So this method will return in the form of true and false. So if the T1 is alive, then it will return true, otherwise it will return a false. Now after that I am just writing down here T1 dot join. Now what do you mean by the join? If you are calling the join method, then this T1 is complete its task. First the T1 is completed task, then the other thread have the chance. So I am just writing a T1 dot join, and then I am calling this line again. So this will return, now here this will return a false, because if you are join, if the join method is called, the T1 for this completed task. So the T1 has the highest priority to complete its task compared to main thread. Now join is used, alive is used. Okay, so now we are just completing this particular code. Hope you understand, right? Now, but let's run this code, then I will show you. Here one error will be generated, light. Here the unreported exception, interrupted exception. What is the message? Interrupted exception, we have not handled it, and that I have already told you that there are some type of exception we need to handle it, because that will generate a compile time error. So here it tell like we are using a join method and we are not handle any type of exception, because there is a chance of generating a error. So we need to just use a throws keyword here. Either you have the option, wherever you are using a join method, just use a try catch block and you can handle it. But in exception, I have already told you what is the exact use of the throws, that I will explain in the thread. So I am using just thread throws, and then just write down the interrupted exception, or you can directly write down throws exception, because exception is a super class of the all the other class. So we have the two options, either you can write the just throws interrupted exception or just write down throws exception. So now if you compile that code, the error message is gone. Now let's run this code. But why we are using a try catch block? Now if you want to pass some user defined message, so that you need to use a try catch block. So here first this will print that T1 is alive, so true is present. Now then the for loop is called, and this will print a user the 3 times. Then the alive method is called, the T1 dot T1 is alive, then it will print a false. So you can see the output. So first this will call this T1 dot is alive, that will print a true. Then if you are calling a join method, the first it completed task, and then if you are calling this method, this is alive or not, then it will print a false method. So we understand about the is alive and the use of the join method. So whenever the join method is used, it gives the highest priority to that particular thread for the execution. Now let's explain about the sleep method. Now suppose if you are using a sleep method, I am just removing this particular line for alive, and you can assign the set the name, no problem it. But if you don't want to use it again, you can just remove. I am just simplifying that code. I am not setting the name of the thread because it is not required in this particular code. Now I am just calling here thread dot sleep. But in a sleep, it is also required through throw and exception. So I am removing this line here, because in main we are not using a sleep, where we are using in a run method. So you need to write down here throws interrupted exception. In a sleep you need to pass some argument. I am passing a 1000, that is equals to 1 second. So here sleep means what? This amount of time the thread will be in the sleep state. Let's run, then you can easily understand. Cannot implement the run in a runnable public run. Okay, here what it tells, we cannot throws, because this is an inbuilt method is there, interrupted exception. So can we write like this? Let's check it. You cannot override a method, you cannot throw a specific exception. So what we are doing here, we need to just write it down in a try catch block. So let's write it down here, try. When the try is end, catch is there. In catch you need to write down just interrupted exception, then name of the object. E is there. And suppose if you don't want to pass any message, just write it like this. Okay. So now let's compile it again. Okay, the error message is gone because the run method is inbuilt method. That's why we are trying to throw an exception. So that's why you cannot change the definition of the this inbuilt method. So now let's run this. You can see the output Java demo. We are not printing anything here, so that's why this message will be displayed like this. Suppose if you want to print this message, just write down system.out.println. I am printing the value of I. You can see 1 0 after 1 second 1, after 2 seconds it will print a 2. So the gap between this will not print a directly 0 1 2. There is a gap like 1 second it will wait, and then 1 then 2. So this is example of the sleep method. You can use a sleep method in a different program. Like in exam it also says like thread 1 print the good morning and thread 2 will be print a good evening after some amount of time. So some amount of time, if you want to wait a thread for some amount of time, you can use a sleep method. So that I will explain in the specific program example. So okay, hope you understand all these 5 methods that I have explained in this today's session. Okay, so that's it from the programming. So thank you very much. If you have any doubt, you can feel free to ask me. Thank you very much.